Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're zooming in on a specific online store. It's called Anna and Claire, annaclaire.com.
Right.
And our sources say, first look, it seems pretty slick, clean, trendy.
Yeah.
They've got dresses, blouses, bags, those comfort sandals everyone seems to be after.
Looks the part, definitely.
Exactly. So our mission today is to look past that shiny surface. Is it a legit retailer, or are there, well, some serious red flags we need to talk about?
And that's crucial, isn't it? Because that professional look, it's designed to make you feel safe, to gain your trust straight away.
But first impressions can be deceiving.
They often are online. So as we start digging into what our sources found, that polish, it starts to chip away pretty quickly. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay. I always find the small details tell the biggest story. What's the absolute first thing that screamed, hang on a minute, something that just felt off for a proper brand?
Well, it's interesting because the very first sign wasn't some complex technical issue. It was plain old carelessness, maybe even a shortcut.
Like what?
Our sources spotted a really obvious spelling mistake right there in the main header navigation.
No way.
Where? The word collections, it's spelled C-O-L-L-E-C-T-I-N-S, collectins.
Collectants, wow, that's specific. But hang on, why is one typo such a big deal?
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't it just be a small business? Maybe someone's cousin built the site, needs a proofreader.
Yeah, you could think that if it was just one tiny thing, maybe. But when you look at the bigger picture, especially with online scams, these kinds of basic errors, misspellings in key areas like navigation, or sometimes really bad automatic translations, it's often a sign, a hallmark of sites that are sort of cloned, set up fast, maybe overseas, with zero quality control.
So it signals they haven't really invested properly, not what you'd expect from a serious fashion brand trying to build trust.
Exactly. Low effort often points to low legitimacy. It's unusual, to say the least.
Okay, so that lack of basic care hints at maybe wider operational issues. And speaking of operations, that leads us straight to what the sources found about transparency, right? Or maybe the lack of it?
Precisely. Real businesses, they want you to know how to reach them, where they are. It builds confidence.
So what was missing here?
Well, first, the product descriptions themselves were pretty thin, lacking the kind of details you rely on, like specific materials, maybe proper sizing charts.
Yeah.
Things you need when you can't touch the item.
Right. You need that info.
But the bigger worry really was how vague everything else was. Finding a physical address, almost impossible. Customer service contacts, murky. And the big one, return and refund policies, very unclear.
Oof. That's a major barrier. If you buy something and it turns out to be, not great quality or just wrong,
Yeah,
you need to know who to talk to
you do.
and how the process works. If they're hiding the who, where, and how, you're basically taking all the risk yourself.
And think about why that might be. Often it's tied to how these places operate. If the stuff is super cheap, maybe shipped directly from a factory overseas.
And returns are a nightmare for them.
Exactly. A clear, customer-friendly returns policy becomes a huge hassle, a liability. So keep it vague. That way they can easily refuse returns or just make it so difficult that, honestly, you just give up.
Okay, so if we can't really trust what's on the website itself, the next step is always to look outside, isn't it? Independent verification.
Yes, that's critical.
What did the sources find when they looked for Anna and Claire out there in the wild? Reviews, forums, that kind of thing.
Well, this is another big warning sign. There was very little independent customer feedback. On trusted places like Trustpilot, Reddit, forums where people actually talk about their experiences.
So just silence?
Pretty much either silence, which is strange if they're selling a lot of products, or if there was anything, it tended to be negative complaints.
And why is that silence so suspicious?
Because if a business is genuinely operating and selling things, people talk about it. Good or bad, there's usually some chatter online. A complete void suggests they haven't really established themselves legitimately. Maybe they're brand new, or maybe they're not sticking around long enough, or honestly enough, to build that organic reputation.
Right. So when you pull it all together, the collectants typo suggesting a rushed job, the lack of clear info about who they are and their policies, and then this absence of outside proof, it definitely makes Anna and Claire look quite suspicious.
It does paint a concerning picture. Now, we can't give a final, definitive scam, or not scam label, obviously, but the takeaway for you listening has to be really careful here. Exercise extreme caution.
And the sources had a very specific piece of advice on staying safer, focusing on how you pay.
Yes, this is a practical tip. It comes down to understanding how these operations might prefer to work. The advice is absolutely do not enter your debit or credit card details directly onto the site.
Why is that distinction so important?
Scammers often prefer direct card payments. They can be harder to trace, and it's much easier for them to sort of disappear with the money or fight chargebacks compared to using a secure intermediary.
Like PayPal or similar services.
Exactly. Think of services like PayPal as a shield. They add a layer of protection, dispute resolution. It makes it harder for dodgy sellers, so use them if you can.
Good advice.
Yeah.
It really comes down to protecting your money, your data. Doing that bit of homework before you hit buy.
Always. It takes a few minutes, but it can save you a lot of hassle. And maybe one final thought for you to chew on.
Go ahead.
Beyond the spelling and the policies, think about the product photos themselves. Our sources didn't explicitly mention this for Anna and Claire, but it's a general point. Should you be a bit suspicious if a fashion site only shows clothes laid flat or on mannequins, never on actual professional models?
Wow. Like the photos look like they could be straight from a supplier's catalog, not styled shoots.
Precisely. Could it suggest they don't even have the inventory themselves or haven't invested in proper marketing? Just something else to keep an eye out for next time you're exploring a new online store.